Welcome back to the Sibling Group Chat. I'm Owen.
And I'm Cassidy.
Today we are back at it with the Odyssey review, episode 52, A Matter of Obedience.
Yes, this is episode 58 of Adventures in Odyssey. It originally aired on January 21st, 1989. It is part of album 4, Fundamentals. And in this episode, a young Tom Riley is given the job of taking medicine to a sick woman, but he has to endure traveling with his pesky sister while remembering the specific instructions for the journey. And our theme is obedience.
Yep. And as you may have noticed if you're watching, we have a new location unlocked for me. I'm somewhere that I've never podcasted from before. Fun times. It's my grandparents' house. All right. So, getting into it, Chris intros was basically telling us Tom seems like a pretty regular, level-headed guy. We're going to hear a story about one time when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Basically what she said.
I think it's basically, and I think it's funny that she's like, everyone thinks he's like calm and cool and level-headed. And yeah, I feel like up to this point in time, we have kind of portrayed him as more of the goofy, absent-minded guy.
A little bit, yeah.
Which, he's both, I suppose, but I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, so Tom is subbing for Sunday school, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they've been learning about obedience. So, to start, as a sub would probably do, is like, so what have you guys been learning about obedience? And apparently the only thing they had yet to have learned was the Greek words for obedience and what they meant.
Yeah, and he's told this by a kid named Reynold.
Reynold is a weird name.
I know, it is, especially for a kid, an 11-year-old.
The last name,
yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, it's the voice of Oscar, which I found funny. Because Oscar would not have been able to rattle off these Greek words.
No, Greek would not be Oscar's thing. But yeah, so they had gone over the Greek words for obedience in Sunday school. It had taken them the entire class time the week before. So they didn't have a clue what a good example or how to explain what obedience to God would look like, because all they knew was Greek. So Tom decided he should probably tell them, but instead of just like telling them, I'd tell them a story. So he's going to tell them a story about when he learned about obedience, and it's a story from his childhood in the 1930s.
Yes. I never really paid attention, I don't think, to when he said he was a child, but now I read the Young Wit books and I was like, the 1930s, because that's when the Young Wit books are set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Tom and his sister Becky are where the story starts, and I guess their dad too. What's their dad's name? Is it just Dr. Riley, or does he have a first name?
I don't think they ever say his first name. This Doc Riley. Yeah, he describes his dad as a country doctor because he goes and visits people.
Mm-hmm. And so when the story starts, their dad was getting ready to go take some medicine to a Mrs. Sawyer, and right before he was getting ready to leave, he got a phone call from somebody else who needed him for something.
Their wife's having a baby.
Oh,
their wife's having a baby.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. He had to go meet them at the hospital. And his horse was going to get him to the hospital faster than their car was going to get them to the hospital.
I think it was because of the terrain that a car was going to help him, or a horse was going to help him or something. Or maybe he was just that much closer. I don't know.
He just says, my horse will get me there faster than that car ever will, or something like that.
I thought they were talking about his own car.
No, I think he was saying his horse is going to get him faster than their car. I don't know.
That's not how it sounded to me. But regardless, yes, the horse was going to be faster than a car.
Yeah, the horse Bethesda.
Bethesda. It's such a fun name for the horse.
Yeah.
Get on, Bethesda.
Yeah. It's a good call-in name.
Yeah. So since he had to go to the hospital, he entrusted the duty of taking the medicine to Mrs. Sawyer to Tom and sister Becky, and Becky doesn't want to go because it's on the other side of the Gloomy woods. I feel like if you were going to have a haunted, scary woods, Gloomy Woods would not be the first name you would come up with.
Well, we can't use too scary of words. This is Adventures in Odyssey.
I guess, yeah. But so she didn't want to go to the Gloomy Woods, and Tom said he'd go by himself, but their dad's like, no, I want you guys to go together because you've never walked that far before. It just sounds funny. Like I know it's not like it makes sense, especially because it's
Yeah.
like happening in the 19. It just the wording sounds funny.
Yeah, and I think part of it too, even though he doesn't necessarily say, is he doesn't want either one of them to be alone. Whereas if they split up, Tom would be going somewhere alone and Becky would be home alone. So
Right. And so their father gives them specific instructions on what they were supposed to do. They're supposed to take a knapsack of food because it's going to take them a little while. They're supposed to stay on the single path. Is that what they call it?
yes, I don't know if he's describing it that way or if it's just that's its name. But either
Yeah, I
way, they
wasn't
call
sure.
it the single path.
Yeah. And they were to be polite if they ran into a stranger, but not stop and talk. There should be no adventures of Tom Riley in the forest pretending to be Robin Hood.
Yes, I think
And
because he
one,
says he says something like Tom Riley alias Robin Hood. When I was younger, I couldn't tell what he was saying because it like all runs together. Tom Riley alias Robin Hood. Now only that I'm older, I get what he's saying there.
and then once they get to the other side of the forest, they were supposed to go knock on the door of the house with a blue door.
Yes, because the people in these woods are suspicious of strangers and they don't know what will happen if they go somewhere else. And they're also supposed to say
Naturally.
that they're his children. So,
Yes.
is
So
this, does he say, or do we know, is this Odyssey?
I mean, I would assume so. I always got the impression he grew up on the farm in Odyssey
But,
area, but maybe not.
well, I kind of normally think that too, but then why do they have these country accents that people in Odyssey don't have? Like, this feels very
Because they
like,
live in the country.
I guess, but this feels very like Appalachia, I feel like.
Maybe.
But,
You
yeah,
mean the
I don't
people
know.
that they're going to visit? Or the
Yeah,
Rileys?
but the Rileys kind of, but then especially the people they go to visit seem very much
Well,
like
maybe in the
mountain
1930s,
folks.
Odyssey was smaller, and they are going to a different little pocket of people than what is now Odyssey.
I suppose that could be true. Maybe it's like out towards what's the town that Bart Rathbone sends them
Oh,
to?
Slauberg?
Slauberg, yeah. Somewhere between Odyssey and Slauberg.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
So Tom and Becky get headed into the woods. Becky doesn't
After
want to
their dad
go.
leaves.
Their dad
Let's
leaves.
ride, Bethesda.
Um, Becky doesn't want to go, but since she has to go, she's going to bring a book with her because one, she likes to read while she walks, and two, she doesn't want to talk to Tom the whole time, which I thought was kind of funny. Also, sounds like
Yeah, and
something you would do: bring a book on
I
a
don't
walk.
think I don't think I would try reading and walking at the same time. And it
You've
doesn't
never
seem
read
like
and
she
walked at the
does
same
either.
time?
I'm not saying I've never done it, but I've never taken a walk and read at the same time.
I don't remember what I was reading, but there was definitely one time in one of my years of high school. It would have had to be either junior year or before because I was online English my senior year. But I had either forgotten or just put off my reading for the day. And so I was still reading as I was walking out the door. And I mean, it's like a 2-minute walk, not even.
I was gonna
Or I
say,
was,
what's the
I was
point?
like almost done, but I needed to finish it. So I was like still reading as I'm going out the door and walking over to school.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah, they get going. Becky was scared, but Tom was excited, and I feel like Tom was more excited just because Becky was scared. He might have said something
Yeah.
along those lines. He was just having
Yeah.
fun because she didn't want to go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so then, as they're going into the forest, they get to this bridge that Tom didn't even know was there. So clearly, neither one of them has been very far into these forests. I assume Becky kind of stays away from them. It sounds like Tom would go and play there, but apparently not very far into the
Yeah.
forest.
Or he
They get
never
to a
stuck to a
bridge.
single path before.
That could be too. Yeah, so Tom, once they get to the bridge, Becky is wary of trolls. Bridge. What?
It's funny that she's wary of trolls.
Oh. And Tom is like, whatever. I just didn't know this bridge was there. This bridge is cool. So he's going, looking at the bridge, looking at the water, sees the water looks kind of deep, leaning against the railing. And Becky's like, don't lean against the railing. It looks like it could break. He's like, this is This is a sturdy railing. See, I can stand on it. I can balance on it. I can balance while balancing my knapsack on my head.
And then
And then,
he can no longer balance and he falls.
kablam, no knapsack.
Nope. Thankfully, Tom grabs the bridge on his way down, or
Yeah,
do
can
no
we
more
just take a
Tom.
minute to appreciate young Tom's reflexes? Like, that would have been some kind of grab, I would feel like.
I mean, he has to have decent balance to have even stayed on the bridge for that long. So
I mean,
his
yeah.
balance and his reflexes are pretty good.
It's true. But yeah, his knapsack falls into the river, and that's where their food was. Luckily, the medicine was in his shirt pocket, not the knapsack, or else they would have been in a real pickle. Mm-hmm. But as it is, they have no food, and he also lost his knapsack.
Yep.
So they get on to walking. Tom says...
Oh, I almost forgot. Before he falls into the creek and he's balancing, Becky says, Tom, if you fall in and drown, I'll never speak to you again. Which always struck me as a funny line, because, you know, if you drown, then of course you wouldn't speak to him again. No.
Yeah. What did you write down, or happen to guess? What is the name of the daredevil he says he's pretending to be?
Lorenzo Riley.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they keep going. Tom's like, it'll be fine. We'll get to the other end of the woods quick. We won't even get hungry. It must have been quite the woods, by the way, because it said they were walking for like another couple hours, and they were still in the woods, and they were very hungry. And Becky took the opportunity to remind Tom that they would have had food if he hadn't played around on the bridge, as he was instructed not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then so as they're walking, they run into a stranger who overheard them saying that they were hungry. And he says that he knows Mrs. Sawyer and he can get them some food and show them a shortcut. And Tom's like, well, food and a shortcut doesn't get much better than that. And Becky's like, we were told not to stop and talk to strangers or to leave the path. And Tom's like, well, I'm already going to get in trouble since we lost the knapsack. So I just say, let's just break all the rules while we're there. But he listens to his sister in this case, and they stay on the path and ignore the stranger, who is voiced by Al Smith, by the way.
Yeah. I think it's like, do you think this stranger actually meant well, or this was Mr. Whitaker luring young Tom Riley to his doom?
We'll never know. I feel like it's
true, because he does sound nice and well-meaning, but there's also this sense of
that
he could.
I think it's insinuated
he could be a creepy old man.
Maybe. I mean, what kind of guy?
Yeah,
is
like
sitting in the forest.
The guy who lives in the forest.
I mean, maybe. What kind of guy just lives in the forest?
That's not that uncommon.
I know.
Yeah. He kind of is like, you know, the big bad wolf trying to lure these innocent children away.
Mm-hmm. But they stay on the path. They keep going. They're hungry. They're not cold, though. They're not hungry and cold. They're just hungry. Sorry, I just saying hungry made me think of another Tom. That's
that's ice fishing.
He can't get the fire to start. I'm hungry and cold. Don't forget cold. Hungry and cold. I am doing the best I can. There. And then it's like
that's Tom too.
Yes, it is Tom. That's probably why I made it. Yes. And then Eugene comes with his like fire thingy. He goes, who wants hot cocoa?
No, he just blows on it. He just blows on it.
No, he definitely doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's no, because Tom says, what are you going to do? Stick a disposable lighter on it? And then I think somehow it's implied through the sound effects, at least I always thought it was, that Eugene just blows on it because Tom had forgotten that that's what you have to do when you're trying to start a fire.
Absolutely not what the sound sounds like. You should go listen to it. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be, but that's not what it sounds like.
Well, that's what I've always assumed it was. Because Tom thinks Eugene is going to use something fancy, when in fact Eugene is just remembering the basic principles of building a fire.
I mean, that could be. I mean, that would make sense. It's just, in my mind, it's a way bigger, louder sound effect than that.
Yeah, because he's blowing up bigger flames.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's not the episode we're discussing today.
Okay, Anyway, they keep going. They get to the edge of the forest, and they see one house as soon as they exit the forest. And so Tom just assumes that must be the correct one. And they get there, and the door is red. And Becky's
And
like, "What
Becky's like,
color
"Isn't it
was the
supposed to
door
be blue?"
supposed to be?" And he's like, "I don't know. Dad just said a colored door." I feel like he full well knows that it was supposed to be blue, but he's like, whatever at this point. I mean, I
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
get like
surprised Becky doesn't.
I feel like he wouldn't have forgot because like
Yeah,
the yeah. Becky's like, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be blue,
I'm
and I don't
surprised
think you
Becky
should knock
doesn't
on the
put a.
door.
Yeah,
But Tom knocks on the door, and an angry lady thinks there's some kids who keep stealing stuff from the garden, so she locks them in her basement. How nice.
and then leaves.
And then leaves to go borrow the phone of somebody else who turns out
Does
to be
she
Mrs.
say
Sawyer.
that though?
Yeah, she does.
But does she
Because
say
they're
that?
like yelling.
Okay.
Yes, she does. Because they're yelling
Oh
in
yeah.
the basement, and she tells them to be quiet. Says they'll just have to save it for the police when they get there, and they'd already be there. Except she doesn't have a phone, so she has to go bother someone else's phone, borrow someone else's phone. I don't know if she's a bother to the phone or not. I don't know.
I think she probably is.
But regardless, so they're stuck down there, and they don't know what to do. And Tom apologizes.
There's a
before they figure
window,
out
but
what
they
to do.
can't reach it.
Yeah, Tom apologizes for breaking all of the instructions, and Becky is like, "I think that's the first time you've ever apologized." And he's like, "Don't make a big deal out of it, or I'll never do it again." And so he gets the idea after he looked through the keyhole to try to see if she was still there. Couldn't see through it, meaning the key was still in the keyhole. You know, back in those days, keyholes worked for both sides. Fun fact that Tom shared with us.
Yep.
So
Well, you know, Reynolds would have questioned him if he hadn't explained that.
It's just Reynolds. It's not Reynolds.
Oh, that's right.
There's no S. It's just Reynolds. One Reynolds, not multiple Reynolds.
Is there a Reynolds in the Jameson Shoemaker story?
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like there is. I don't know.
There's a Rothschild.
Rothschilds are Rothschild.
And Zumwalt.
Also not the episode we're discussing today.
I know. Sorry, but you brought that one up, not me.
I did. It's true.
So he has the idea that if you can push the key out and then grab it from under the door, well, he needs some paper for that, and they can't find any paper. So what does he use? The book. Does it pain you as a book lover to hear a page ripped out of a book, even though it's not a real book?
No, because there's always some extra pages. You know, you've got the copyright page, or some books have a blank page at the beginning of the end. So assuming he was smart enough to not rip out a part of the story, then I think it's fine.
I could see him doing it just for the fun of it because it would bother his sister.
True.
But
if you imagine this like a movie scene, you know they would have just like opened the book to the middle and ripped out a random page. So
it would have been like the climax of the book.
yeah.
But yeah, so he rips out a page, slides it under the door, uses the pocket knife, which we didn't even mention. His father specifically told him to bring a pocket knife with him just because, you know, it's a good thing to have when you're walking through the gloomy woods, you know.
Yeah, the pocket knife in the book were definitely foreshadowing.
What? Yeah, so he uses the pocket knife, pushes the key out onto the paper, grabs the paper, slides it under the door, unlocks the door, and they run out and go find another house that does have a blue door, knock on the door, find this guy who's then going to take them to Mrs. Sawyer, and he's like, been waiting for them because he apparently knew they were coming. And then apparently he has a bunch of food for them, and they don't have time to eat it. He says something about that. And
which I'm curious. I'm just wondering, did Mrs. Sawyer need her medicine at an exact time? Because if as soon as they get there, they need to take her medicine, were they supposed to get there earlier and have time to eat before they took her the medicine? But then why was it urgent? I don't know.
Maybe originally he was going to bring them back and have them eat.
Maybe. I don't know.
Regardless, then they go to Mrs. Sawyer's, and Angry Lady is at Mrs. Sawyer's because she's apparently the closest person with a phone to Angry Lady. Does Angry Lady have a name? Is it like Agnes or something, or Agatha? Or
I think it's Agatha.
Agatha.
Mr. Kennedy, I think, is the guy, and he calls her Agatha. We never hear from Mrs. Sawyer.
No. She's sick. She needs her medicine.
That's true.
Yeah, so they get the medicine there, and Agatha apologizes profusely for not listening to them, asks why they didn't say they were Doc Riley's children.
And Tom's like, I
And
never thought to bring it up.
which I know he was told by his dad to like tell people that if they ask, but at the same time, if I was getting grabbed by a lady by the ear and thrown into the basement, the first thing to come up probably wouldn't be, I'm Doc Riley's kid.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyways, yeah, Tom says that he never forgot how things would have gone better if he had just obeyed all that his dad had told him to do, and that it showed how he had, like, showed an example of the ways we should obey God. Like, he gives us instructions and we should obey because, yeah. And then Reynold asks if which of the Greek versions of obedience this story showed.
Yeah. To which
And
Tom
Dom's like,
responds,
what's the Greek word for class dismissed?
yeah. Yep, and then that's it.
I think I would like to go to Tom Riley's Sunday school class.
Yeah, I think. Would you rather go, if you could only go to one, would you rather go to Tom, Whit, or Wooten's Sunday school?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, Wit is like a regular. It sounds like Tom just subs. So,
But yeah, but
I
sometimes
don't know.
Whit sounds like a sub.
Sometimes true. Yeah. I don't think
I feel
Wooten
like
would be my
Wooten.
style, but I feel like Wooten does
I
like
think
second graders or something like that, like something
yeah, I'd
around
say
that
Wooten
age.
would be really good for like little kids who have zero attention span like himself. And then
Because Wooten has zero attention span, so he'd fit right in.
yeah. I feel like Whit would be a good adult Sunday school teacher. We never see him doing that because that's not the demographic of the show, but I feel like he'd do really well.
Mm-hmm. I also would love to be able to hear a Bible story from Bernard Walton in person. You know, that would be a great time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's about the end of the story. Chris's outro. Does she read a verse or not? I don't remember if she does, but she talks
I don't
about
remember.
obeying our parents and God should be done in love. And I think she does read a verse because she reads a verse like, "If you love me, you will do what I command," or something like that.
Could be right. I didn't write anything down.
Yeah. Yep, that does it for the episode. Good times.
Yeah. It's a good episode. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun time. Fun to hear young Tom Riley. I don't know if we get many, if any, other.
I don't think so. That's the thing. I don't think we ever hear about Becky again until she randomly comes back to Odyssey after he dies.
In like the 60s, like album numbers, I mean.
Yeah.
Not
after
year.
they go. Yeah, I think it's like after they even get to the 6 episode albums.
Yeah, I think it is because it's after.
It's post Green Ring Conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because isn't the first episode she comes back, or one of the first, like the ones with the like singing group?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the one where they decide to do this show at the farm, and that's the first time you ever hear that Tom had even died.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense because you hadn't heard from him in forever.
Yes. But a lot of people wish they had more properly mourned his passing, which I get, but on the other hand, we've never done that for anybody else. But most characters aren't said to have passed away. Most, they just say leave town. So
Right.
Because even like the Allens, I think they might still say are just traveling in Scotland, even though their actors are dead.
Well, at least up to where I'm at, because I'm in like 74 or something. I don't know. I haven't quite caught up to present day. Jason is just running the antique store, and it's still J&J. And I don't remember if they ever added a third J or not for Jason.
They do start calling it Triple J Antiques, but I can't remember if they actually rename it that or they just end up calling it that.
Okay. But yeah, so like it's like the Allens still own it, but they're not there.
Yeah. Well, even like Bernard is still supposedly around, but you never hear from him. But his actor's dead. So I mean, Eugene is in Baltimore, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm almost got to Eugene leaving, and I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for that.
You're not. Nothing will prepare you for that. Anyway, what a sad way to end a funny episode.
Yeah, it was a great episode. And that'll about do it for this week. I guess next week we have a what?
Next week
Don't
is
tell me. It's something, a worker approved.
correct.
I only know that
He
because I
only
already
knows that
listened
because
to
he
it.
already
Usually
listened
I
to it.
wouldn't have a clue.
Yes. Yes, next week is a worker approved, which is still part of album 4. So just plugging away at
Thank you
album
for
4.
watching and or listening. Subscribe where you get the podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye.